Welcome back to the show today. We are talking about Team USA. Basketball, of course. I'm sure most of you watched the Olympics and saw the USA do as good as they possibly could do. Go undefeated and win a gold medal. So why is the title of this video so pessimistic about the future of USA basketball? Seems like Team USA is doing just fine. Well, it's because Team USA is going to look completely different in 4 years. Think about the guys who carried Team USA through crunch time. It was Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant. All of those guys will absolutely not be on Team USA in 2028. LeBron will be 43, Steph will be 40, and KD will be 39. Even if they wanted to play, they wouldn't be the best options for the team. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying it's highly unlikely. Not only are we going to lose these players' leadership and skill, the other countries are improving very quickly. The medal rounds were really good games this year. Serbia was winning most of the semifinals against the US, and France played Team USA until the very end of that game. They were not blowouts, man. They were close games. The rest of the world loves basketball now. Being a basketball player in Europe or an oceanic country isn't a niche interest. These guys are trying to make careers in basketball, mainly in the NBA. In 1996, only 5% of NBA players were foreign-born. Now, last year, 125 players were international. If the NBA has 450 players, that means 27% of the players in the league were not born in the United States. And at this rate, I would assume in about 10 years, it's going to be 50-50. And if half the league is international players, you can only assume that these guys are going to play for their home country. So even if you think, well, half the players are going to be US-born citizens, surely that talent pool is going to be larger than any other one country's talent pool. Yes, but that doesn't really matter, does it? You can only have 12 men on an Olympic roster and 5 guys out on the court at a time. So the only thing that matters is how good the best of the best from your country are. The volume output of quality basketball players really doesn't matter at all. You can only have one national team per country. So the first case against the US, if we assume that the NBA is the greatest basketball league in the world, the greatest players in the league are not American players. Literally none of them. Jokic, Serbia. If you're a Luka guy, he's Slovenian. Shea, he seems like an American guy. No, he's Canadian. Giannis is from Greece. What about Joel Embiid? He's an honorary American. Yes, and thank God he is an honorary American and was able to play as the US's nationalized player in the Olympics. I don't know if we would have got past Jokic without Embiid. I say we because I'm American. Embiid was only granted American citizenship back in 2022. So there's part of me that thinks that Embiid saved our asses from an embarrassing bronze medal this year. Well, luckily Joel is only 30 years old, so we'll have him again in 2028, right? Maybe not. Embiid has expressed interest that he wants to play for Cameroon, his home country, in 2028. Now, granted, FIBA and Team USA would have to sign off on him switching teams, but I imagine if both entities are interested in growing the game of basketball, they'll let him do it. They'll be cool. I think one of the best players in the world playing for his home country on a continent that is rapidly growing interest in basketball would be a great thing for the game, and to not let him do that would be unethical, in my opinion. And from a US standpoint, pretty greedy. So let's assume that Embiid is not playing for USA in 2028. Who are our next best players? Anthony Davis, he's pretty good, right? He finished second team All-NBA this year. He was first team All-Defense. Sure, he's got a hell of a history of injuries, but most recently he had a great season. He played 76 games. Good for you, AD. Anthony Davis will be our team captain in 2028. Well, maybe. At this point, AD will be 35 years old. Granted, that's about the age of Steph and KD right now, who did play, so he's not going to be ancient. I would not count on a 35-year-old AD guarding a 33-year-old Giannis. Then after that, we do have 3 great American players. We got Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, and Devin Booker. They're going to be leaders of Team USA. And then, of course, we're going to have guys like Jalen Brunson, we're going to have John Morant, we're going to have Zion Williams, or any of the other guys that you're mad that I'm not mentioning right now. This team is going to be great, don't get me wrong, but it's not a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the gold medal. Team USA is totally beatable. Also, one interesting thing about Team USA is that the best players don't want to play in the FIBA World Cup. Even Anthony Edwards said hell nah when he was asked if he was going to play in the FIBA World Cup. He played in the last one, I guess he's just over it now. It kind of feels like to me that Team USA sends their B team to the FIBA World Cup, or their junior varsity, and then the varsity team goes to the Olympics. If you're not familiar with who played in the FIBA World Cup last year, there's guys like Austin Reeves, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, Walker Kessler. Obviously there were a lot more, but you get the point. Definitely good players, but not the most skilled players the USA has to offer. Brunson wasn't as good as he is now, so don't get mad at me. And I understand why guys like Anthony Davis and Devin Booker don't want to play in the FIBA World Cup, but they do want to play in the Olympics. The Olympics has way more social clout than the World Cup does. You get a gold medal, you get to rub shoulders with Olympic athletes. You are an Olympic athlete. You're hanging out with Michael Phelps, Simone Biles, Marion Jones, remember her? The FIBA World Cup is kind of a knockoff of the FIFA World Cup. It kind of rides off the popularity of the soccer tournament. But the rest of the world does take it seriously. All the foreign stars play in the qualifiers and the tournament. So they're developing chemistry in between Olympics, which is clearly helping these countries. Dennis Schroeder made it clear that he did not want Maxi Kleber to play on the German team because he didn't participate in the qualifying matches for FIBA or Eurobasket. I think Schroeder is one of the most passionate international players there is. He takes playing for Germany very seriously, and he's a great player. He was the FIBA World Cup MVP in 2023, and he had a great Olympic Games for Germany. So I hear. I I honestly didn't watch any German games. I didn't watch any games the Team USA wasn't in. I didn't even watch all those. So Schroeder also said something after the Olympics. It sounded kind of like sour grapes, but I think I understand what he's saying. He said, I think European basketball is no entertainment. It's straight IQ basketball, straight coaching, and really, really high IQ guys who know how to play the game. And this is absolutely a sneak diss. But I think his point is this. The way the game is presented isn't like a production like it is in the NBA. The way it's refereed, there aren't TV timeouts, there aren't constant reviews of plays, stars are given star player calls. It feels a little more like a rec league game, honestly. It's really fast. They just kind of want to get it done and move on. And not only does it have a different feel than an NBA game, FIBA rules are different too. There are a lot of small differences in the game. So the players that are used to playing by FIBA rules are going to be at an advantage. I believe the USA should really take seriously who they select to be on their team. Regardless of who the player is, they should just make sure that it's a consistent team. And they get guys that are committed to playing whenever there's a Team USA game. I'd like to see the guys on Team USA have a more Dennis Schroeder mentality. Get a group of guys that don't just want to play in the Olympics, but want to play in the FIBA World Cup as well. Get guys that are willing to just sacrifice their time. Luka and Giannis are out there playing in Eurobasket. These guys are champing at the bit to represent their country in any sort of tournament. But let's face it, USA basketball is not going to change. In 2027, we are going to send the B team to Qatar. And we're going to lose, just like we have in every FIBA World Cup since 2014. We don't care. And the countries that do care are going to be at an advantage when it comes back to the Olympics in 2028. So I'm wondering now, which country is going to be the country that usurps Team USA's power? The obvious answer is Team France, right? The USA has played Team France in the gold medal game the last 2 Olympics. They're clearly the new Spain. But Spain didn't even make it out of the group stage this year in the Olympics. They were supposed to be the next mecca of basketball. They won the silver medal in 2008 and then just kind of fell off. I don't know what happened. So now France is on top. They've got a really good team. They've got Wemby, who's obviously good, and in 4 years, he's probably going to be really good, right? Rudy Gobert is going to be 36, so he'll probably be out. Let's not count him. Batum and Fournier are going to be in their late 30s. We're not going to count them either. Bilal Coulibaly and Frank Ntilikina are probably going to be there. Those guys aren't necessarily incredible players, are they? Now I'm down to Guerschon Yabusele. Am I really saying that Team USA is threatened by Guerschon Yabusele? No, because more than likely, a lot of the players that are going to play for Team France aren't even in the NBA right now. This year in the draft, there were 4 French players drafted in the first round, 3 in the top 10. The last 2 years, think about it, the #1 pick has been a French player. Clearly, France is producing really great basketball players. Considering their population size, France has a better success rate in getting players into the NBA draft than America does. And I know, I've said this before, but basically the entire Australian national team is NBA players. And I know, I'm assuming that the best players in the world are playing in the NBA. I am operating under that assumption. If that upsets you, I'm sorry, but I'm assuming the best players in the world are all playing in the NBA. So Australia does a similar thing to what the G League Ignite was trying to do. They're taking young athletes and preparing them for a successful career in the NBA. It's called the NBL. The NBL is the Australian Basketball League Next Stars program. On their website, they boast that they got 4 guys in the NBA draft this year. And it's true, they did. I'm sure you all know Alexander Starr, the 2nd pick overall. He was a part of the NBL program. He played for the Perth Wildcats. So basketball is growing in popularity worldwide. And with the growth of this popularity, the seemingly better development outside the US, and the more passion other countries have for playing for their national teams, I'd have to imagine the US is going to have some crazy competition in 2028, and in all the Olympic Games coming after that. Alright, thank you for being here. This was a suggestion, so if you have another suggestion or recommendation for a video, let me know. I reply to every comment. Like the video if you enjoyed the video. Dislike the video if you didn't like it. Be good to your mothers. Eat a corn dog if you want to. I don't really eat corn dogs ever. Secrets out.